Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about using adjustment brushes in Lightroom. So we've already talked about our basic panel, and in here we can change things to black and white. We can change it back to color. We can do all of our exposures, all this fun stuff. Now you will notice some of these things have already been changed, and that's simply because I did merge 4 images together to make a panorama here. So when we do have it in black and white, one thing that I do want to mention is down here on our black and white mix, we have the option to adjust each color tone individually. Now what you're going to notice is areas in the photo that were blue, so for instance the sky, you can darken or lighten those. So if I lighten them or brighten them versus when I darken them. So here we have the ability to adjust things all individually. Again, there's lots of green in this photo, so you'll notice a lot of change when I slide that green slider. The yellow, orange, and red, you'll notice right back through here in the horizon in that forest there were some different oranges and reds. Again, adjusting those, you'll see how those change. There we are. Now getting back to what I was originally saying was the adjustment brushes. So adjustment brushes are right here, right above the basic panel there. When you click on that, it's going to look similar to our basic panel itself. Now, one thing I will note is here I'm going to add a color. Now, I'm just using this as a mask. I'm not actually going to keep the color in. Now, the reason I use this color is so that it can really show me where I am affecting the area. Because what I find is when there's no color, some people will start to color outside of the lines, if you may, and then things don't look as nice. So we're going to zoom in to 100% and just kind of bring this over here. And I'm going to just add in the contrast through on these trees. Now I'm just going to do it super quickly so you guys get an idea of how this changes. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to keep it this way. I'm going to take that color out. So right now it kind of looks a little funny, but that's okay. But these trees, I really want to add that contrast to, because they are normally blue spruces, which means our highlights will look really nice, and I'll darken down our shadowy areas as well. So this is just adding contrast in through there. So when I go back out to full size or fit, what we're going to see is the little bit of purple where I've used this adjustment brush. I'm going to click on this color and bring that saturation down to 0% so that it's just black and white again and there's no actual color. Now when I want to add a new adjustment brush, so when I'm just going to affect a different part of the image, so there I added contrast, darken the shadows, etc. Here let's keep the contrast the same. Let's brighten up some of these highlights and increase the whites. And I'm going to do that here for the clouds. Now I will go back to 100% just so that we're not going to be coloring outside the lines, if you may. Now there are some spots that are going to be blown out, which is why they're not turning that purpley kind of color. But we can go in and adjust after. And just keep going in through here. I'll try and do this super quick there, guys. And just on this edge here. And I'll zoom out. Now you can see when I adjust, we're getting all these different tones in here as well. Maybe bring those highlights down a little bit more. And again, when you're happy with it, just take all that color out and we can play around even after the fact as well. Now let's say I want to go back to my first dot. I would just click on that pin and it's going to highlight where that was. Maybe I don't want to bring that contrast quite so high, or maybe I don't want to bring all the shadows there. But you can flip back and forth between the different pins as you may.